Hello and welcome to the Healing Station. Hello, my dear listeners, and welcome to the Healing Station. Here at the Healing Station, we get our healing. We get our healing for physical problems. We get our healing for emotional problems. We get our healing for mental problems. We get our healing for financial problems. We get our healing for marital problems. We get our healing for any other problem that we could be battling with. We listen and heal, listen and heal, listen and heal, listen and heal. Today we're talking about the shrewd steward. We are in Luke 16. This is a story that Jesus tells us himself. He tells us about a rich man. He says there was a certain rich man who had employed a steward. But then he learned that the steward was wasting his goods. So he approached the steward, he summoned the steward and told him, I'm having you sacked, I'm firing you. What is this that you have done? What is this that I hear? I hear that you've been wasting goods. And the steward said to himself, I don't know how to beg. If I lose this position, how will I survive? I don't know how to beg. I don't know how to dig. I cannot do heavy labor. I'm ashamed to beg. What is this that will I do? Then he told himself, let me do something that will make them to receive me into their houses, into their houses. So he called the debtors. He called the debtors. He asked the first debtor, how much do you owe my master? And the man said, 100 measures of oil. And he said, sit down and write 50. Sit down quickly and write 50. And then he called the other debtor, the second debtor, and asked him, how much do you owe my master? And he said, 100 measures of wheat. Sit down and write 80. And the rich man was happy, and he praised the steward and said, you are a wise steward. And he restored him into his position. And Jesus is talking about finances here, and he's talking about wisdom. And he says that the children of the light are not as sharp as the children of darkness. That the children out there, the children of the world, know how to handle life and know how to handle finances more than the children of light. And then Jesus again goes to say that you've been faithful. If you've been faithful in much, you are likely to be. If you have been faithful with the little, you are likely to be faithful in much. And he says that if we make friends with Mammon, go ahead and make friends with Mammon, he says, so that they may receive you into everlasting habitations. So that they may receive you into everlasting habitations. And Jesus again says, if you've been faithful in little, you are likely to be faithful in much. But if you've not been faithful with the little, you are not likely to be faithful in much. And what is God saying here? He's saying that when we work for somebody, it is training ground for us. When we are employed, it is training ground for us. If we can take care of someone else's goods, it means that the day we'll be trusted with our own, we shall know what to do, we shall do a good job, we shall exercise wisdom in our own finances. So we start first by learning to exercise wisdom when handling somebody else's finances of our wealth, like when you are employed. And then after that, God entrusts you with your own stuff because he knows that you already have the experience to know how to handle finances and wealth. And then again, he says that when you make friends with Mammon, they will receive you into everlasting habitations. And for me, I understand this to mean, who are these they? I understand this to mean that these are angels receiving you into everlasting habitations. The angels, the Bible tells us that angels are ministering spirits sent forth to minister to those of us who shall be heirs of salvation. I take it to mean that when we start to exercise financial prudence and financial discipline and good stewardship, that God begins to actively engage in our finances, bring us increase, and that the angels begin to actively work up and down, excelling in his strength, and helping us to achieve our goal and to enjoy prosperity, to enjoy wealth. Now, when you are a Christian, what is this that you do with your finances? How do you become wise with finances? How do you become friends with Mammon? You start by tithing. What is tithing? Tithing is giving 10% of your earnings. In the book of Malachi, we are told that when we tithe, God opens the windows of heaven and pours blessings upon us, so many that we shall not be able to contain them. And then again, that he rebukes the devourer. So two things happen when we tithe. Number one, we begin to experience increase, and then number two, God rebukes devourer so that there is no loss, there is no waste. And then another thing is giving. When we're making friends with money, how do you make friends with money? And so that they may receive you into everlasting habitations, you become a giver. Remember the Shunammite woman, how she gave to Elisha, how she provided him with meals and accommodation. And then after that, what did Elisha say? As Elisha was lying in the bed in the room that she had created for him, he said, "Behold, this woman has cared for us with many cares. What is this that can be done for her? Has cared for us with many cares. What is this that can be done for her?" And that's what happens when we become givers. When we become givers, the angels start to say, "What is this that can be done for her?" And they start to fight for us and to fight for us in the area of finances so that we experience wealth and we experience increase. And then, so there's giving, and then there's tithing, and then there's exercising good stewardship. While we are under somebody's employ, we are going to be shrewd, we are going to be smart, we are going to be savvy. At the same time, we are going to be wise. We are not going to be wasteful. We are not going to waste somebody's goods. We are going to be wise, like this steward in this story, so that God can give us increase, so that God can entrust us with our own stuff, our own businesses, our own companies, our own projects, our own our own companies, our own projects, our own jobs, so that we can be our own people enjoying finances. So we tithe, and then we give, and then we become shrewd stewards. When Jacob was running away from home, he only had stuff in his hand. When he slept and woke up, he found that in the dream he had seen angels running up and down, walking up and down the ladder. And he said, "Indeed, God is in this place." And he said, "When I come back safe, I'll tithe here." When he came back, because he was a tither, Genesis 30:43, by the time he was coming back, the man had increased exceedingly, and he had much cattle, and men servants, and camels and asses. We are talking about giving here. We are talking about tithing here. We are talking about being friends with Mammon, so that they shall receive us into everlasting habitations. Jacob saw this firsthand. He saw what tithing means. That when you tithe, God begins to bless you. The angels start to work towards helping you to prosper and to get wisdom, how to handle finances, how to handle wealth, how to handle money matters. Today at the Healing Station, we are becoming savvy, we are becoming smart, we are becoming smart and savvy in the area of finances. We are getting wisdom to know how to handle finances. If we are in stewardship level, we are getting to know how to handle finances that belong to our boss, so that one day when we have our own money, when God entrusts us with our own money, we already know what to do and we begin to enjoy prosperity. Go ahead, kindly share, like, subscribe, even as we begin to enjoy financial prosperity, even as we begin to know how to make friends with money so that they may receive us into everlasting habitations. God bless you. Until we meet next time, lots of love.